All right, hi guys. I thought I would do a different kind of review today. I don't do very many role-playing games on the channel. It's not really the focus, but I do like, Lovecraft and Cthulhu, like a lot of people. Um, and I I got the Keeper rulebook for the Call of Cthulhu RPG a few months ago, and I did a review on it. And I did a couple streams with these solo adventures. Although I don't think it made for very great viewing. But anyway, I thought I'd just do a review of both of these together. I've played through this one, at least I did once through entirely. And then I've played through most of this one. I haven't yet been able to like finish the scenario. And I'll mention that in a minute. So I think I'll just get into, in general, first, these are solo adventures, obviously. It says you need the Keeper book for Call of Cthulhu to play them, but I think if you got I think they have some quick start rules on the Chaosium website, and I think if you use those, you could, it wouldn't be a problem for you to play these. And then there's a couple other of these Alone Against adventures. Yeah, there's a couple more. Alone Against the Fire and Alone Against the Static. I kind of wish they'd make more, but, anyway. And this, Alone Against the Tide, this one is by Nicholas Johnson and friends. And then this is Alone Against the Dark. And this is by Matthew Costello and Mike Mason. And I think both of these were published before, I think like in the period, I think Alone Against the Dark, I think was originally published earlier. I guess this is a newer one. And then this one, I think, was originally from the 80s, or an earlier edition of Call of Cthulhu, I think. Maybe not. Anyway. So I'll get to this one, but I think I'll start with this one. This one's a little more straightforward. So this is Alone Against the Tide, and the basic setup is your character goes into a village. You're looking for a colleague or a friend of yours that died under mysterious circumstances. And, the adventure kind of moves from there. This one has, well, they both do. They have multiple paths. And this one, you can play with a character you roll up. The other one, not so much, and I'll explain that when I get to it. But and this one, the opening kind of phases kind of walks you through the character creation. So the way it works is it's basically like a choose your own adventure, but with dice. It's got the entry, and, like this is number one. The sun sinks low on the horizon as you board the ferry headed across the lake to Esbury. As you set foot on the boat, the ferryman greets you with a wide smile and a cheery wave. He stands by the gangplank as you pass, welcoming the other passengers as he removes his cap to scratch at his balding head. His pudgy figure fills his well-worn suit. He looks a little awkward, but he seems rather pleasant, a rather pleasant sort. Leaving the man behind you, you take a seat toward the prow, eyes fixed on your destination. And I have to say, the writing in both of these is pretty good. It really does put you in the scene. Yeah, so in that area, it's nice. But this one, the first few kind of entries, it'll walk you through like the character creation if you want to do that. Now, if you just want to play like I did, I just wanted to get into it. There's a couple characters in the back which are basically the same. One's just a woman. You have Eleanor Woods, that's a woman, and then you have Ellery Woods, that's a man. And I'm pretty sure the skills, it's basically the same character. It's just, if you just want to pick a man or a woman character. And then you also get, if you want to copy the blank character sheet, they have that. And then the rest is credits. So, yeah, it's a pretty, I don't want to, give away the plot if you want to play it, but it's a nice adventure. I think for me, like, because I don't have a ton of experience with Call of Cthulhu or kind of role-playing games in general, but this one is pretty good because it's straightforward, and then it also explains like what skill checks to take, yeah, so that's all really nice. It is pretty difficult, and I think that's another good thing because you can replay it. I just wanted to see what would happen. So there were some times where I would have, like, my character would have died completely. I failed a bunch of skill rolls, but I kept playing through just to see what would happen. But I have to say, if you do play this and you do like the pre-generated character, you get like 70 extra skill points. I think if I run through this again, which I probably will, because there were some decisions I took that didn't let me explore some of the other kind of paths in the scenario. I think I should have distributed my skill points a little bit better. Although, I mean, Call of Cthulhu, it's not really meant to be like power gamed per se, but I think I could have done a little bit better in that area. I did have like two basically, straight up death situations, and I kind of, like I said, I just played through. I wanted to see what would happen. But yeah, pretty good. And it's like I said, it's a pretty straightforward kind of Lovecraftian narrative. There's only one location basically. You can't really, there's no like kind of hub areas, which is in the other one, which I'll get into in a second. But that's good. I think if I should have started with this one, but yeah. So if you are kind of new to, if you want to get into Call of Cthulhu, I think this is like a really good one to get into it, especially because the pre-generated characters are pretty simple. Have a pretty good distribution of stats, I would say, for the scenario. Just when I played, I think I needed to, maybe use the bonus points, skill points a little bit better. And also, just being kind of new to the percentile dice system, it's actually kind of hard to roll low, which you need in Call of Cthulhu. So you're if you have like a 45% in one skill, you have to roll under 45. That's how it works. Which in some situations is pretty hard, actually. I found just like rolling the dice just to see. But, it's meant to be challenging. It's meant to be a challenging system. So, yeah. And then the next one is Alone Against the Dark. Now, this one is a little more complex. Not in terms of it being like hard to follow or something. It's just there's more going on. So the basic setup is, again, you have like a mysterious, an acquaintance who dies mysteriously, and it takes you on this pretty big adventure. There's 3 main hub areas. So, and I've only played through 2 of them pretty much. So you have, let me see if I can open it to the location tables in the back. Yeah, here we go. So we've got Arkham, of course, the famous Lovecraft's famous fictional New England town, and there's Egypt, which has a lot of interesting moments in the scenario, and then we have Bremen in Germany. And then finally, Antarctica. Oh, I'm sorry. There's even more. I missed 2 because so we have New York, Boston, which is not really a full location. It's more just a hub, or a kind of, you pass through it depending on the actions you take. Then you have Athens, Greece, yeah, and then you have Egypt and Bremen, and finally Antarctica. I have not played through all this. Now this one, I think it is better suited to be playing with the pre-generated characters that it has in the back. So you've got Louis Grunwald, who's a professor. My playthrough, I had him, I lost him. And then the way it works is with the pre-generated characters, if one of them dies, you move on to the next one. So we've got Louis Grunwald, we have Ernest Holt, who's an industrialist, and then we have Lydia Lau, who is, I think she's a journalist? Yeah, she's a journalist. And then finally we have Devin Wilson, a sailor, a U.S. Navy sailor. So you can score yourself. It depends on how many investigators you lose, but my thinking is the way it's set up is that you have, like, I'm guessing that he's probably, the easier character to play with, especially with some of the combat scenarios. But anyway, and then you can make your own character. I tried that the first time I sat down with this. But I found the writing to be more suited to the characters that are built in, especially just like if you lose one character, like for example, I played through with the Louis Grunwald character, and I lost an encounter with him, so he died, and I had to start with the Ernest Holt character, and kind of the story hook is that, Ernest Holt is friends with Grunwald and hears news of his death. I mean, I think you could just ignore that and insert your own characters, but I don't know. I just found using the pre-generated ones for this situation to be a little bit better. And basically, you're after kind of a magical ancient device. Again, kind of pretty standard Lovecraft type ideas. Not to put that down. It's just trying to give an idea of the story. But this one is pretty cool in terms of that, there's a lot of the locations. You really do have a lot of choices, even though it is like, fixed on what sort of entries are in the book and, what the writers came up with. But, I found that playing through it, and like I said, I haven't finished this one yet or gotten to the end. But, I feel like each hub location is pretty fleshed out, and even when you're playing alone, it does kind of feel like, a little bit like how you would be playing with a real game master or keeper, in terms of like guiding you through a location and with the different characters, and the writing in this one is also quite good in terms of like setting scenes and things like that. So it's really great. Now I couldn't finish this mostly just because of my own issue of I don't have a printer, and which may be a factor for some people, because there is a puzzle at one point that you have to, like there's this puzzle here that you have to print out, and it's part of the scenario, and you have to put it together. So I kind of got stuck at this section because I don't have a printer right now, so I can't do this. I guess I could do it on the computer, like in Paint, MS Paint or something, or like manipulate the PDF. But anyway, but it's still nice that it has, I think this is a nice little feature actually, that it's got like a little puzzle. And on the Chaosium website, I think all of the handouts and stuff like this you can download those for free, I think. So really cool adventure. I'm glad I got it. And I think in terms of replayability, this one probably has a little bit more replayability, just because, again, depending on how your dice rolls go, depending on, sort of the order you work through things, I think there's more kind of, stuff to do in this one. Although, like I said, that's not to put this one down necessarily. It's just this one's more kind of straightforward. This one you can play through. Like I played through this one in like an evening. I think it was like maybe 2.5 hours, if that, something like that. This one I think would be better. You could probably play this like on a long, like a long weekend afternoon into the evening, or, play it through a few days. Obviously, if you know the rules better, you'd probably work through it more quickly. Yeah, so I like both of these, and, I when I got this book a few months ago, I was like not really sure, am I really going to like the game system, but I totally get it now. I get why this game system has been around so long, because it's really good. And I've always just been kind of the person where I do like in role-playing games being able to like kind of work through stuff and like talk through it, or like solve mysteries, or use speech to get through things rather than fighting all the time. Which I guess maybe it's weird being a wargaming channel, but for role-playing games, I kind of prefer that style of gameplay, I think, to the more kind of Dungeons and Dragons type situation. And one more thing I will add. So timekeeping. So this one, you do have to just keep a notebook of tracking the kind of in-game days, because that it is. Some of the decisions are dependent on when the in-game day and time is. So you do have to track, like, again, with like a notebook or a piece of paper, just like when you do an action, typically it's like 1 hour in the game. And then, using certain transportation will advance the game, certain amount of days, because it does affect, it does affect kind of the plot of the game. But they do include, I probably flipped through it earlier, there is a calendar in here somewhere. I can't find it at the moment, but there is a calendar to help you for the day. It's for the year. I think it's set in 1931. So and there is a 1931 calendar. And then I really like these books really help sell me on Call of Cthulhu. I like it a lot. And then the Keeper rule book, there are 2 scenarios in it, like to start, to get started. But, they're not solo scenarios, so you need to have a gaming group to play those with. Let me flip ahead here to see if I can. Yeah, scenarios. So, there's this one, Amidst Ancient Trees. Takes place in 1925 in Southwest Vermont. And the way these scenarios are written, it's designed for the keeper's point of view. And then this one is the Crimson Letters. And this one is more open-ended. So this one, if you're the keeper, you can choose like it's like a like murder mystery type thing. So you can choose, who the culprit is and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I don't have a gaming group to try that out with. So pretty cool. And like I said, if you want to try Call of Cthulhu, if you don't do role-playing games or whatever, I think these are a lot of fun. There's only a few of these that they've published with Chaosium, but they're pretty cool. And they're a good way also to learn the rules. I'm hoping that, maybe in the next few months I can get a couple of the other scenario books, because they have two that are like perfect for me and what I'm interested in, because they have Horror on the Orient Express, and I think that one just got a new print edition. I was looking at that at the game store, but it's a little pricey. It's a 2-book set. And then they have another one that the title escapes me at the moment, but it's set in Central Asia. I posted a community tab. I posted in the community tab on my channel about that, which those are both like really awesome for me. So I think I'd like to check those out, especially, both of them. Yeah, so this is kind of a long one, but I just really like the game and the rules and these scenarios. So, I'll keep, maybe, if I can continue with Call of Cthulhu stuff, I'll make more videos about it. It's a little different than what I normally do here, but anyway, I hope you guys liked it, and talk to you all in the next video.